Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day. In this video I'll be showing you the top 10 best console mods in Baldur's Gate 3's mod manager. There's mods that add hundreds of new spells, thousands of new items to the game, and entirely new experiences within Baldur's Gate 3, which I'll be exploring in this video. Now I'll be honest, there is more than just 10 mods in here. I've actually grouped some of them together as some mods work synergetically between each other and others are just nice to have alongside it. So the first one we'll be starting off with is what I think to actually be the best mod in Baldur's Gate 3 with the Ancient Mega Pack by Paramanov. What this does is it adds 700 new items to the game. It also adds a crafting system, randomizes everything, so whenever you go to complete a quest, you can now choose between a bunch of different items here. And the thing is, if you like an item, you can always upgrade it and make it even stronger. So you get different drops like these potent dusts here, which you can combine together to power up these items. And it also rebalances a lot of the base game experiences, not just loot, but also the enemy's AI, and makes it work a little bit more intelligently. So you can see here, like the Warp Headband of Intellect, Cloak Protection, the Gloves of Beleaguered Skies are typically uncommon, and they're now upgraded to the rarity. And also things like the Infernal Rapier are now considered legendary. So it kind of rebalances some of the items in the game that are a little bit better than they may let on. Things like obviously the Amulet of Greater Health, best amulet in the game, is now legendary as it should be. So it does that, but it also adds in a ton of new items. So you can see here the different rarities. As you upgrade them, it also upgrades the abilities that it gives your character and makes them much more powerful. If it gives you a spell, it'll upgrade the spell's level, making it basically an upcasted version of that. And sometimes when you get the Masterwork version of it, you get, or the Celestial version of it, you get entirely new abilities on it as well. So something like this will give you an additional 3 armor class while you have Mage Armor. Whereas in the earlier, I guess it does have some of these similar things like Spell Mastery there, but it upgrades a level and everything alongside it. What's also nice about this is there's a bunch of new weapons that create cool new experiences. Like if you wanted to have a glowing green spear, now you can. And then you can also upgrade it all the way up to the max. So you can get a drop at the very start of the game and keep it with you because it brings in all of these different Fey Emerald dusts and types of upgrade materials to make the weapon even stronger. So let's say you got this awesome Eldritch infused spear and you want to level it up. You can take it alongside some of the resources here. So you take one of the Astrum Immortalis and then 2 of the Celestial Gold Dust, combine them together, and boom, you got yourself a new weapon. And it'll upgrade it to the maximum level there. So you can go around picking up gear at literally the start of the game that's also randomized and then balance it. The game's weapons actually are pretty balanced, so you can get items in the start of the game, and they've actually managed to have the loot table. This is actually a massive mod. It also comes with the an instruction manual, which has a lot of information. Can't break it all down in this video, but I recommend you check through it. And I've also done another video in depth on the Ancient Mega Pack, so you can see everything that comes with this incredible mod. So yeah, you can even see the video is attached there. So yeah, highly recommend checking out the Ancient Mega Pack. This mod has it all in one. Now this next mod is buy 1 get 3 free with the Dawnstar's telekinetic spells here by Dawnstar. They've also created the water spells mod, and I'm hoping that Dawnstar's Grimoire will also come, but I'm also going to be pairing this with the Mystra spells mod, as these all work together extremely well and kind of fulfill a similar purpose. So with Mystra spells, it adds 135 new spells to the game. I've covered them all in a video as well, so you can check that out if you want to see them in a bit more detail, but it's based on 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons rule set, so you can go through there. You can see it whenever you add in the, like, let's say wizard level 1. You got things like Green Flame Blade, Frostbite, Create Bonfire, Gust, the Infestation, Alarlox Minor Drain, Lightning Lure, Mind Sliver, Mold Earth. So it adds new cantrips, new spells, but I'm also going to be showing off again the telekinetic spells and also Dawnstar's water spells as well. I like this one. It does get a little bit overpowered because water is such a powerful status in Baldur's Gate 3, but they all come with their own unique VFX as well. So whenever you use these spells, you can create, like, Dawnstar created all these VFX for the game. So like for some of them, you pick up rocks and throw it at the enemy. It's incredible. I really enjoy these mods, but both of these add a ton of new spells to the game. With Dawnstar's, they add 2 spells for each level. So as you continue to get up in levels, you're going to get a couple more per level up. And then with the Mistress spells, it adds spells just kind of whatever is based off D&D. It'll bring that all over to Baldur's Gate 3. And it goes all the way up to level 6. So you can see here, once we hit level 2, our spell list is growing extremely quickly. The nice thing is Dawnstar spells always end up at the bottom of the list. And then I find that the Mistress spells is always somewhere around the, it's below the regular game spells, but it is sorted really nicely. So you know that you are selecting a spell. Like if you're someone that hasn't played a whole lot of Baldur's Gate 3, maybe just a couple playthroughs, you can play this and you won't get too confused by the amount of options that you got here. So yeah, there's so many spells. One thing that I like with Mr. Spells is all the new summons. As an enjoyer of summons, this adds things like the Summon Fae. And even when you get to level 6, there's new summons at that level. Summon Shadow Spawn is also a cool spell that you'll get in Act 2, as it feels kind of on theme. So you can see here, we have a pretty unique spell list. These are not spells that come in the base game. My favorite part with these is the unique VFX, especially in Dawnstar's mods here. So you can see, we conjured a Baldur. You can't do that in base Baldur's Gate 3, and you also can't turn it into shards like that. This is incredible. Like, it blew my mind when I first used this. A battering ram, so a unique appearance there as well. Some of these are a bit powerful, but I do think it is fun. So you can, some of them you can only use on an enemy. This one I also like, the Storm of Swords. So it rains down actual swords. That is some of the coolest VFX that I have ever seen. And yeah, all of these have a unique appearance to them. So yeah, shoot water at the enemy. It literally feels like these could have been included in Baldur's Gate 3. Like if Larian dropped a DLC and it was of this quality, this mod is literally that same level of quality. So an incredible mod, highly recommend it. I am going to heal the team too. There are a few huge overhaul mods in the game. Another one that I definitely enjoy is the features from D&D 5e Planescape by BibQWERTY-san here. Now, what this mod does well is a lot, like some of the other all-in-one mods. So they actually can't include every single change in the mod.io version of this, so they do have it linked if you go on the internet here and check out the Nexus mod version, which is linked from their mod.io version. This details everything. There's new feats that you can get, new items, new enemies to go against. They got new, again, there's some of the new abilities that you're able to get. I think the features are very well balanced as well, but there's also new spells here that you can see. So this is again kind of tying into a bit of everything. The new items, which have items that relieve yourself of being charmed or frightened, and some that'll give you proficiency bonus added to Arcane and Perception. So nothing too overpowered. Feels like it could have been in Baldur's Gate 3 all along. This mod also will add things into the Planescape pouch here, so you can go through and grab Mimir, sharp tongue contracts, all the items that are associated with this. Some of them will make it so that undead don't attack you in combat and gives you charisma check advantages whenever you're in dialogue. And then there's also some of the NPC items here. So Anath's Dagger, the Electrified Man Catcher. Yeah, this is a recolor, but a really cool looking one. So yeah, a bunch of new weapons that I think fit well into Baldur's Gate 3. And then there's also some different spells here as well that you can learn. So yeah, there's a little bit of everything. There's another mod similar to this that I really enjoy. It's not on console yet, but it adds a whole new area to the game. And yeah, there's also a new dice that you can unlock. New enemies to go against. So new encounters in Acts 1, 2, and 3. Sometimes hostile, sometimes fun. You can see here, they're pretty cool looking. Yeah, this does a lot. They're also adding new features to it and updating existing features. One of the things that I like the best about this mod is the different feats that it brings. So you got things that are somewhat balanced within the game. So things like the Scion of the Outer Plane. So this will give you, whenever you select one, it'll give you an elemental damage type resistance. So we get poison resistance, and we learn the Minor Illusion cantrip. This one will give you Sacred Flame and Radiant resistance, Bone Chill and Necrotic, Force and Guidance. And my favorite is the Psychic and Mage Hand. So you can actually take this if you're a Wild Heart Barbarian with the Bear Heart, which gives you resistance to all damage types except Psychic. This can actually boost up your Psychic damage resistance, and you also get Mage Hand to throw health potions at yourself. So some cool synergies there. This one allows you to increase a stat by 1 and then select a passive feed. So this one you can give your teammate a resistance to slashing, piercing, bludgeoning damage and a +1 AC for a turn. This one can make you deal additional damage and regain health. So yeah, a lot of little buffs like that. Planar Wanderer, this will give you an elemental damage type resistance, and then you can also create a portal. And then there's also the glitch character, which is kind of funny. So with this, you are an anomaly in the multiverse. Sometimes your other version of you meld with your existence and stack, giving you a spell or random buff. Kind of like if you're a wild magic sorcerer, it really enhances things. So yeah, this is a very well done mod by BibQWERTY-san here. Highly recommend checking out the features from D&D 5e Planescape. And a mod that I love, Relic mods, extra encounters, and mini bosses. They also have another mod that I also highly recommend with the more enemies in fights. This one will add more enemies to the fights. The name implies it. You see there, more imps at this Nautiloid. Roughly, it doesn't always double it, but sometimes it does. But my personal favorite, if you were to pick one of these, is the extra encounters, because this adds entirely new fights to the game. So it also adds mini bosses, like you can fight this undead dragon at the Toll House here. You can fight the Avatar of Lakith. There's new aberration fights in Act 2, and there's fights all the way through the game. Some of them actually feel like, whenever I was playing this, I was like, whoa, this is a cool fight. It just feels like it's part of Baldur's Gate 3 naturally. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking this out. If you're on your second playthrough and you want something a little new, this feels like Larian could have made it, honestly. There's just so many cool fights that are scattered throughout the world. Also, you can check out the mod page to see where all the new ally and enemy encounters are and all the different mini bosses, and it has all the maps laid out here, so you can go and hunt them down if you wanted to. Yeah, there's so many good things I could say about this mod, and I don't want to ruin any of the surprises other than what's listed there, but there's some really good ones, and I highly recommend checking it out. They also have an XP rebalance mod, so this will make it so that it increases the amount of XP you need for each level to account for the extra fights, so if you don't want to get too overpowered, this can rebalance all the XP gain. I prefer doing this with the level 20 unlocked level curve mods, but to each their own. Really well done. Now, I talked about increasing your party size, but the creator of that mod has also made another one. So Pixelbytes, who made the Pixelbytes adjustable party size limit mod, they also have Tactician Enhanced. And this is one of my favorite mods because if you've played Baldur's Gate 3 multiple times, you know all the strategies, you know how to take down enemies, you know if you're going to play the game, you're going to likely find it a little easier. This changes things because you can make it scale however you want. So you just go ahead here, select their special thing that gets added to your skill bar there. You can also have it so that it just statically increases, or you can make it so that it scales. As you increase your party size, it'll increase the amount of enemies' actions, bonus actions, and health, depending on how you want it. So you just go through here and you can go either, again, static or to scaling mode. As the scaling mode is a little bit different, more party members, the more you get. It'll also give you prompts here so that you can read the setup guide. So yeah, it's very well detailed. I would highly recommend checking this out. And you can make it so that it increases the overall health value however you want. So you can make it like, let's say we want an extra 20% health. You can go with that. I want to set up enemy hit point scaling, so you can make it so that they'll scale up increasingly as you increase your party size. It's very, you can do a lot. You can give them bonus actions and actions. It's not fully done yet at this point. I'd highly recommend you checking this out. There's different add-on features. They're working on some here, so they're going to be making some different adjustments to it, maybe AI changes, things like that. If you want a mod that changes that, the Ancient Mega Pack does change how the enemy AI works, especially with things like darkness. But yeah, this one's great. I also want to pair this with something else. So I talked about the increased party size mod, but Nightmare difficulty is another choice. This is made by the Real Zir here, so it enhances the enemy's AI. They now think tactically, and they'll prioritize your high-value targets, coordinating their attacks. They'll also use new types of spells. They'll dynamically position themselves in different areas so that it's going to keep them safe, and it balances their aggression so they don't overextend. So yeah, this one I also highly recommend checking out. It kind of works. You can have both of these go at the same time. It just makes the game more brutal in certain ways. You can do honor mode with this as well. So you can add Tactician Enhanced, honor mode, and then also Nightmare difficulty to craft yourself the ultimate difficult playthrough. I think it's really fun to combine those. And next up, this is another massive group of mods by Sumer Dagnoth, who's made a lot of really great 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons adaptions. So first off, we'll start off with the 5e Fighter Subclass Combined. Now, if you're interested in any of these Subclass Combined mods by Sumer Dagnoth, I have done a video breaking down each of the subclasses so you can see them all. But with the Fighter subclass, we got the Banneret, Purple Dragon Knight. We also got the Brute, the Cavalier, and the Psy Warrior here, which is kind of like the, it uses Psy die, or Psychic dice to be able to cast different abilities. There's also the Rune Knight here, so you can inscribe runes, make yourself even more powerful. The Samurai, and the Sharpshooter. So yeah, I do have a video breaking that down, so you can check that out for all the different subclasses. But that's not yet. That's not all. Sumer Dagnoth has also put out Barbarian Subclasses Combined. They also have the Path of the Ancestral Guardian Barbarian, the Path of the Battle Rager, which uses medium armor and throws their spiky body at people, the Path of the Beast, which allows you to bite, use claws or a tail to do an attack, and then we also get the Path of the Juggernaut, the Path of the Storm Herald, and the Path of the Zealot there. So very, very powerful. Again, another mod that I've covered in detail. And that's not all. We also got the Monk subclass combined. So the Way of the Ascended Dragon, I really like this one. It adds elemental damage to your unarmed strikes. You can get a lot of cool builds going with that. The Way of the Astral Self, allowing you to use your astral arms to go punch people like you're Mr. Fantastic. Way of the Kensei, which is, it's a monk that uses weapons. Very interesting. The Way of the Long Death, having a huge area of effect fear attack, which is really fun. And then also the Way of Mercy, which is a healing monk. And then the Way of the Sun Soul, which is a radiant damage focused monk. So huge mod. I've broken it down a while ago, actually. Very well done, though. Highly recommend this one as well. And then we also got the Cleric Subclasses Combined, which was just created. Not on console yet, but I hope that we'll see this one soon. So like Arcana, Forge, Grave, Order, Peace Domain, and Twilight Domain. I'm only going to cover that briefly here just because I have a good feeling about this one. We'll likely see that come. Alongside there also have the Ranger, which adds the Fey Wanderer, Horizon Walker, Monster Slayer, and Primordial Guardian. And then they also have a updated 2024 edition of the Purple Dragon Knight, which allows you to actually summon in a purple dragon. It's very cool. So yeah, Sumer Dagnot's done a fantastic job with all of these mods. I have videos breaking down each of them in more detail if you want to see a specific class, and then I also have some builds on them too. So yeah, Sumer Dagnot's 5e class mods are very well done, and there's more on the way. There's a little secret there. On top of this, I also think that the Dread Overlord Warlock adds so much good stuff to the game. So this is made by the Dread Overlord. What does this do? It adds the coolest Warlock class that I've ever played. You get the ability to summon in a skeletal dragon there. You can summon in pretty much anything you can see here. Like you can create another Warlock, undead Warlock that can cast spells alongside you. Extremely powerful. This one is one that I'd recommend using with the Nightmare difficulty and Tactician Enhanced, or one of the others. It also has some cool, unique appearances here. There's a quest line involved. There's items to collect. There's a lot in this mod. It's actually the most detailed single class that I've seen because there's just so much going on. Or subclass, I should say, because this is a subclass mod. Like, you're still a warlock at the end of the day. You can summon in this giant skeleton here. I've posted a variety of different builds. You can see them all, and I have more even on my channel. So if you're curious to see this in a bit more detail, there's videos by me. You can go check those out because they're very cool. I think this is one of the most interesting builds or one of the most interesting subclasses in Baldur's Gate 3. It's extremely well done. And we're going to only do one more class mod, and my favorite class mod, the Arcane Vanguard. This is a class that has 6 different subclasses on console, 7 different classes on console, I should mention. So we got the Eldritch Vanguard, the Judgment, Sentinel, Dervish, Ice Quiver, Grave Knight, and Hellenot. What's great about this, Sathos, the creator, is a DM themselves, so they know how to keep things balanced, and that's exactly what you get with this mod. There was some overpowered combinations in the past, and they actually did a really great job with tweaking the spell list that you can get from things like Mystra spells, because Mystra spells adds a lot to the game. They had full compatibility. They scaled it back because it is overpowered. What it also is nice about this, there's a new version that got released a week ago with the Eldritch rework here. Not officially on console yet. That was updated last 71 days ago, so about 2 months ago. We'll hopefully see their updated version come soon because they reworked their Eldritch Vanguard. What I think is best about this mod is Sathos' dedication to it. They've been putting updates out pretty much weekly. They're always working on it. They're in my Discord server as well, sharing updates from time to time. There's a lot that goes into making a mod, and Sathos goes above and beyond all of that. So yeah, Arcane Vanguard, they got multiple reworks here to things like the, they had the Dervish rework there, and then now the Eldritch got a rework. The Hellenot got added recently. They're also working on more subclass potentially in the future, trying to keep things as balanced as possible, and a lot of cool abilities. The big thing here is they keep this class balanced. So if you want to play through Baldur's Gate 3 without tearing through the game with something that's extremely overpowered, this is perfect. And it actually makes you think strategically, and that's what I like most about it. The Hellenot has some upgrades and benefits you can apply, but you gain heat as well, which increases the damage that you'll be taking. The Grave Knight, also kind of a higher risk, higher reward style class. Yeah, there's a lot of unique features. You can see it all. They have it all listed out here. They break down every single thing on this mod page. So if you want to see it in detail, I recommend checking this out because, yeah, there's a lot. 300 different status boosts, 160 different passive entries, 23 interrupts, 17 zone spells, 146 target spells entries. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into this. They put a lot of work into it, and I've also covered builds on it in the past. So you can see here, like the Ice Quiver. So I covered a lot of their subclasses. I've actually covered them all. So if you're curious about them, you can check them out on my channel. Sathos did a fantastic job with this. And next, now this one's going to lump a lot of cosmetic mods together because I didn't want to just initially leave one out or anything like that. There's a lot of cosmetics mods in Baldur's Gate 3. Some of them add much more than the others. The best camp clothing mod is Fear Taylor's Camp Clothing. This adds so many different options. You can toggle camp clothings on or off so that if you're going around, you'll have your camp clothing as your armor. You can see here some really cool sets, and it rehashes some of the outfits that we see in Baldur's Gate 3. We don't get the ability to equip ourselves, like random NPCs that just have these outfits in Act 2 randomly. It also remakes some of the different appearances, like Orin's outfit here, and adds a ton of new redone versions of these. So this is an incredible mod. I love things like the Dream Guardian armor, which you can get in this. There's about 500 different pieces of gear. This mod is made by Fear Taylor. Another one, my favorite face mod that's on console is the Coralina's Aesthetics, Even More Heads. There's a Coralina's Aesthetics Heads mod, and this is the Even More Heads mod. My favorite is the Arachne face here. There's a new one got added. But yeah, it adds a bunch of different faces into Baldur's Gate 3. They all look incredible. I'm just going to quickly go through them all. I don't want to spend too much time on cosmetics. My recommendation for cosmetics is add them into your game, find the one that you like most, and then remove the rest. So yeah, this is my personal favorite, but Eclipse has ported over a lot of these mods. This is made by Coralina, and there's also a bunch of other ones like the Mantis face presets here. So I recommend any of these, but again, as I mentioned, go through and download a bunch of them, see which ones you like best, and then you can delete the rest. I'm also going to mention the Moon face preset. This is the Evelyn face that I know a lot of people really like. So yeah, that's also available on console, but there's also the Tasha's Cauldron of Faces, which adds even more. I think that this is probably my second favorite one that's on console. I also like Mizora's face. There's a mod that adds in Mizora's face, so you can just search that up and find it there, but this adds a bunch more really good looking faces. And also for hairstyles, there's the Tasha's Cauldron of Hairstyles mod, which adds a bunch of different hairstyles here. So yeah, a lot of hairstyles between these different mods, and more likely coming with one of my favorite hair mods, the Tav's Hair Salon, is not on console yet, but it was just put into mod.io. We also got the Hair Unlocked, which will add different hairstyles from the base game. So it's like Carlax's hair there by ShaneH147. So again, this is stuff that's already in the game. It just adds more customization. Download them all, try the ones that you want before you start your next playthrough. Again, Mantis presets there, the Tasha's Cauldron of Hairstyles. All of these are very well done. There's also the Kay's Hairs mod, which adds a bunch more hairstyles to the game. So that one is also very well done. And then we also, I'll mention this in with these, is the Origin Mirror Unlock mod, which adds the ability to customize your companions, made by Yoon Moon Sick here. So you're able to literally change all your companions' appearances. Little side note, if Will has his horns, or if Shadowheart changed her hair, you can't actually change their appearances afterwards because it applies an override to whatever you do to them. Now we have one mod remaining, but I'm going to go through some more honorable mentions. So one that I really enjoy is the Over-Explained Interactions Option Prime for Patch 8. Approvals, DCs, and flags in dialogue. So this is an Over-Explained Interaction Option mod. And Over-Explain is kind of what it does. It's great though, because it's going to tell you what options, what happens whenever you apply the options. So like if you drink the wine, Astarion doesn't like that, Gale doesn't like that, but Halson likes it. So it shows your approvals. It's going to show if it has a dialogue tag. So like if this one is a dating Shadowheart option, it'll show that. It'll also tell you if you're going to break your oath if you do a specific action. It'll also add in, it has support for different languages, Dark Urge options, difficulty check numbers. So if you see an option and it's like a dexterity check, you'll see the difficulty challenge that you have to do. So it really has everything all in one whenever you're going through and playing the game. Makes it easy to see. And we also got, I love this, the Vampire Origin New by Lord President here. They've also done some other mods like Shadowheart as a werewolf and some others. Unfortunately, Werewolf Origin can't come to console as it causes some crashes, but this one here allows you to play the game as a vampire, which comes with a ton of benefits and some negatives. So this is cool. I know a lot of people that plays games enjoy things like vampirism in the Elder Scrolls games. So this adds it. You become immune to sleep, charm. You can transform into a mist form, kind of whatever Cazador has for abilities. You get a vampiric bite, and then if you ascend yourself, you get an ascended vampire bite. You'll also take half physical damage at specific levels. You'll take more radiant and fire damage. It's a very well done class mod that makes it feel like you're actually a vampire in the world of Baldur's Gate 3. And on top of this, another quality of life change, move faster. As the name implies, basically doubles your movement speed. And I love this mod because sometimes you just need to get around the map when you're on your 100th playthrough. You want to run through it a lot quicker. Also, another side note, the Ancient Mega Pack adds different chests to the game, which are, this is a 50 difficulty challenge, so you have to roll in a crit success to be able to open it. And yeah, that adds a lot of good stuff too. But move faster, huge. Faerun colors, the best dye mod in my opinion. I use this in every single video now since I've gotten there, since I guess almost a year now. and it just adds a lot of really good looking dyes to the game, and they're very strong and actually dye the color of the armor. So things like one of the ugliest sets, but one of the best sets with the adamantine actually looks cool with the LED luck. There's Gale dye or Gale dinner, all that. So favorite colors, one of the best dye mods out there. And also BG3 unlocked broken items fixed by Tyson Maniac 1. This fixes some of the items in the game. Now, I will mention the Gloves of Battle Mage of Power actually got fixed whenever patch 8 got updated. Previously, it did nothing, and this is actually a really powerful set of gloves. It also gives Shadowblade a little bit of different work, Pyro Quickness hat, Bone Spike helmet. So yeah, any of the items that are broken, this will correct them and fix it. And the last one I want to share before we get to the final mod is the Random Spawns Comprehensive Difficulty Boost Patch 8 by Gabe Cameron Escrow. What this does is it gives you an item that you can carry around with you that'll randomly, at random intervals, spawn encounters and fights for you. This is kind of like a roguelike mod. I considered that because you never know when something's going to happen. It's new every single time. And with this mod, yeah, you get yourself into some pretty tough fights, which I think is really awesome. So this is the kind of one that goes under the radar. It'll make the fights level appropriate. And yeah, it's a 25d20 dice check. It'll do you'll basically get a new encounter every 2.5 or 120 minutes. There's also an item that'll let you randomly generate a fight anytime. So it's great for a roguelike experience because it's going to be different every single time. But the final mod that I want to cover adds a bunch of new stuff to the game as well. I tried to summon it in for this video, but I'm having a lot of issues because I have a lot of mods downloaded. But Fade's Equipment Distribution and their newest all-in-one mod, which was added to console, which is very considerate of them to do because it combines all their different class outfit mods into one. You do have to have the Fade's Equipment Distribution. It's a framework that adds new locations for items to appear. You can also download them one by one. If let's say you only want wizard gear to see that, you can just do that. It has around 33-ish items per class. And what this all does is it adds new experiences to Baldur's Gate 3. There's also a cheat mod, which allows you to get them from the tutorial chest. And it has a lot of options. So like, for example, like the fighter class here. So you can see there's a bunch of different items. You get Act 1, 2, and 3 specific items as you continue to level up. There's the Might and Metal for the fighter. As you go through each of these, there's around 10 to 13 items per act per class. And they're all inserted into new locations. So you got to re-explore the map. And I think that's one of the best parts about it because you really get to enjoy Baldur's Gate 3 from a different perspective where you're literally hunting down every little piece of loot that you can find. Again, every single class now has one, from the sorcerer to the fighter to the cleric. They all have loot in this mod, and it's all scattered in really cool places in the throughout the acts. So I think this mod adds so much replayability to the game because you can go hunt down all of the items, or if you just want to try out new builds. I personally love doing a new game plus where I use Tactician Enhanced, Nightmare difficulty. I level myself up and or I use different types of gear as you continue to level up. Use the level 20 mod, and you can give enemies like an extra action or two, and then they become really devastatingly strong. But adding this all together, it makes a really fun new experience. So between Fade's Equipment Distribution and the Ancient Mega Pack, they actually both work together on console. So that is extremely cool. You can see here the AMP Ancient Mega Pack REL random loot. Compatibility should be seamless for console players. On your PC, you do have to rearrange your mod load order if there's issues. And I think that's what's happened with mine. I have a lot of different mods installed, but on console, they work together flawlessly. And this one adds 700 new items to the game. This one adds about 400 new items to the game. So both of these can literally give you endless hours of playing Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah, crazy new experiences in Baldur's Gate 3. I know that was more than 10 mods. I gave honorable mentions. I gave some mods had multiple mods within them, like the Sumer Dagnos 5e class combined, but there's a lot of great mods on Baldur's Gate 3's console and more coming. I'm hoping that we'll see some more things come soon. I know people were waiting for race mods. Ace actually just created a new race mod for console, and there's more coming on the way. So with their Ace Goblins mod, this allows you to actually play as goblins, and there's unique appearances like a Astarian Goblin, Lae'zel Goblin, and so on and so forth. They're making new ones, and they're adding new ones all the time. So they also have glamping. They added devils and kobolds. We'll hopefully see these two come to console. They're not currently on console, but I did do a video breaking this down a little bit more in detail. But there's a lot of great things coming to console in Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know what you want to see next, or let me know your favorite console mod. Leave that in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I do modded videos all the time in Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know what you'd like to see next, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day.